The elements of that are particularly transformative. If you're creating your own travel and you're like, I'm feeling the brewing inside, I want deep change. Well, if you want that, then these are some of the elements you might want to incorporate in, because the research shows these are the elements that really make travel particularly transformative. The number one and number two, the top three are the most important. Number one is novelty. The further you get from your reality of daily experience, the more the possibility of the radical transformation. So if you want a radical transformation, go to a place that is so different from your life that it couldn't be more opposite in every way. Then you're going to get the most bang for your buck, the most radical transformation possibilities. That's the number one piece. Intimate contact with local people. This doesn't mean intimacy in a sexual way necessarily, and most often it means intimacy in a way where you're sharing your heart, having authentic conversations with local people. And number three, contemplation. Time and spaciousness for reflection, for poetry, for writing, for drawing, for meditation, for yoga, things like that allow for a spaciousness for you to really dwell on your life and your inside and your feelings and whatnot, your relationships. So I'm going to point to this. This is a synopsis, of the anthropological cycle that I was just talking about. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. But you can see here at the bottom, I know you can't see this very much, but down at the bottom it says call to transform. That's Joseph Campbell's famous beginning, where there's a call to deep change inside of you. It's a quiet voice or a screaming voice, depending on how long you wait, to really have some deep change. And then you leave on the travel, and it's going around in the circle. Or you have a call to transform, have a baby. You have a call to transform in becoming married. And then there's the call to transform. And then there's the adventures and trials of the separation process. Up here during the liminality is when you really receive the boon or the epiphany. It's when you receive the inner knowledge or the knowledge coming from outside of you, depending on your ontology, your idea of reality, happens during that liminal space. And then the return from travel, or the return from after your wedding, or after you bring the baby home, and whatnot. You have this transformative cycle. So what I really want to focus on today is that this probably isn't too surprising to you, this overlay of the transformative cycle, the hero's journey with travel. That overlay has been made before. And how critical it is for us to go on travel so that we can make space for deep change. But the thing is that deep change happens. We get married, we get divorced, we have babies, we see an amazing mountain, we have a long vacation, thank God, and something deeply moves inside of us. Transformation can be the easy part, as we have understood transformation in the larger sense. Getting out on vacation is critical for us to experience transformation, and I think we really need it, especially now. But what I really want to focus on is the integration of transformation. Because what happens, I don't know how to I don't know what I just did. There we go, cool. Okay, so where I want to focus here is what happens when you return. And that is the focus of the last 7 years of my life, is studying the integration of transformation. Because while we can have these beautiful epiphanies and deep changes and experiences inside of us, when we come home, what happens? The deep in basket, the email, the people, the driving, the bills, everything slam, and it happens so quickly. And we have to live. We have to do these things, right? So we have to get these things taken care of. So then what? How do we integrate transformation? In my research, what I discovered after 13 months of analysis was that there is a process to be known of the integration of transformation, and it isn't pretty. It's not what transformation is. Transformation, the transformative experience, is very beautiful and flowery and blissful. When we're on that vacation, it can feel really mystical and beautiful, and then the return can feel painful. Well, the return process requires us to go into our own being and incorporate the knowledge and the potential, our literal potential that was born during the transformation. Our potential was born there. But in order to bring the potential into our bodies, I think, based on my research, the only way to bring it into our body is to integrate it. And integrating means dwelling. And most Westerners I know, haven't ever been learned about how to dwell, except for dwell in ways that are neurotic. Okay? And this is not necessarily a pretty picture here. And what I can tell you, though, is if you can sit in the uncomfortability that happens after we transform, after you come home from the hospital having a baby, after having the marriage, after coming home from a powerful transformative travel experience, if you can sit in the grief, which grief is proven to happens after transformation, period. After you have a transformation, there is grief. Why? Because something died when you transformed. It was part of you. Part of you dies in order for a new part to be born. But the thing that we never learned before is that when does that thing get born? That part of you doesn't get born until right here. This threshold crossing, that's when the part of you that was conceived here, this is actually the conception. You conceived a new you here. A new part of you is conceived. And this is the birthing gestation process. And it is very womb-like. And when, right here, in the surrender and healing process, you see the new you. The new you conceived during transformation is born here and actually starts growing, and you see yourself anew. And that's the growing up process of the new you, the new identity that was born. And by the time you get up to integration, that's when you've integrated the transformation. In other words, you've integrated the new identity. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about here, is integrating a new identity. And so this is actually a redefinition of transformation as we have known it. Because what we've always, in every literature that I've looked at, which is thousands and thousands of pieces of literature across like 11 disciplines, this is how our conceptualization of transformation right here. Honestly, there has been no conceptualization of transformation, including any of this. It's only been here. This transformation is supposed to end here. We're home. Ta-da! I'm transformed. But guess what? You're not really transformed. How many people sustain the transformation when you get home? Nobody. Because no one ever told us yet that there's another process we haven't even seen, that there's a hidden half that has to be had. And this is masculine, not getting into the whole thing, and this is deeply feminine. So of course, we have forgotten the feminine here. This is very showy and sexy, and woohoo, I'm in this part of the world, and it's so pretty, and this is amazing, and I'm eating beautiful food, and these beautiful people, and this is not pretty. And this is darkness, and this is a lot of light here. But this is a whole right here. The wholeness here that engages both our masculine up here and our feminine, allowing for an integration of a whole lot of things. So here we go. So basically, I have like a minute left. I'm faster than I thought. That's about all I can just leave it at that. So, all right.